Oh boys, IGN makes a review, and whoo, would you look at that, it gets dislike bombed. Now today's video is kind of the reviewing of the review that these guys have made. Now ladies and gentlemen, I'm only making this video because I hope you all know that I'm excited for Death Stranding. I've been excited for it ever since it first was revealed. And I've been kind of quiet, been kind of open about it. Every time I put this game out of my head, now it's finally back. I've been waiting ever since I saw Norman Reedus on the beach with a fetus. Finally, a week out from this game's release, and the reviews have come in. So I was waiting. You know, I passed out, woke up, saw a bunch of these reviews, and the IGN one stuck out because IGN is, no matter what, is going to be the one everyone watches. This is the review that people are going to talk about, right? Like, this is the one gaming company that is, or not gaming company, the one review company that really has a hold. Like, people are going to go to them. I'm not saying that they're the final word, but they're going to be the ones that are sort of the face, so to speak, right? Now, I usually follow reviewers like ACG or Ranton, for which obviously ACG is better. I mean, shots fired. But ladies and gentlemen, I never thought I'd be making a video where I'm actually defending IGN on this because, honestly, I kind of laugh at every time they review a game. But this one, they gave a 6.8 out of 10, right? Like, not the best of reviews, but yeah, it's a 6.8 out of 10. Now, as a Death Stranding, fan, like somebody waiting for it, you think this would like hurt. You think I'd be seething at the fucking mouth. You think I'd have like just a cyanide pill on me, right? Like if the world crashes and the game doesn't get a good review, I'm leaving. Like, bro, this is not how it is, ladies and gentlemen. It really isn't. I've been looking at this review score and looking at like this fucking division of like and dislike going on with the Death Stranding. And I'm siding with IGN because when I read this review, because I didn't watch it, because they gave away, and this is a big criticism to IGN, if you're gonna like show a single player game, have a spoiler warning in the video. They didn't have it. So I didn't watch the video. I heard they revealed some spoilers, so I read through like carefully, avoiding the plague that would be the spoilers in it. And from everything talking about the gameplay, I actually agree with, ladies and gentlemen. I knew going into Death Stranding, this is going to be a divisive game. Like, there's going to be people that love this game, or there's people that are going to hate this game. And there's going to be a lot of flaws, like there's going to be a lot of good. And almost every review that I've been reading, I read the pro and con sheet. Like, I don't look at review scores. We'll talk about that later. The pros for this game is that the world is really engrossing. It has a good depth, it has good lore. It has, unique elements of gameplay that haven't been tapped into before. Overall, I've heard from, at least from like Kotaku, it's like the Gran Turismo of walking simulators, which is like my favorite quote, by the way. Tim Rogers' great review on that. It's an hour long. I had to skip through it. Don't fucking hate me. But I've read the cons, and the cons are that the game is incredibly repetitive. You're delivering packages. You're Amazon priming the entire way. Basically, Kojima said, if I had the world of Fallout, okay, like a dead world, but somehow UPS, Amazon, and FedEx could absolutely fuck up the packages, even then, that's what the game would be. And I knew that going into it. I think for 2 years we've known that this would be like an Amazon Prime delivery simulator ever since we saw like the first gameplay trailer way back. And even then, I gotta say, ladies and gentlemen, I have to say, I knew going in that this was, again, a divisive game, 100%. And when I read these like criticism, when I read the seething anger on the comment section for this IGN review, or I read it in like Discords or Reddits, it weirds me out because it's like, guys, this was never going to be a 10 out of 10. This is never going to be a game like that. To me, those review scores are meaningless. You got to look at the cons and you got to look at the pros of these titles. I think that's where the review medium needs to go to. It reminds me of Sonic, the Sonic community when it comes to like a game. I get that Sonic Mania is great. They're great games that come out, but like these guys got seethingly pissed when shit like Lost Worlds got like, what, a 7 out of 10? Your games, guys. I know that you're going to be fanboys. You're going to have like in this head, you haven't played the game, but you want it to be a 10 out of 10. It's not going to be a 10 out of 10. All right? It really shouldn't be. And on the topic of review scores, I hate these with a passion because honestly, people who are behind Metacritic, OpenCritic, whatever scores, don't get me wrong, for the average person who just wants to know if their $60 is going to the right place, they're going to look at an average review scale and say, maybe I'll buy it, maybe I won't. But you got a big chunk of the community that all they want is the game to fail, which is stupid, all right? Like, you want a 0 out of 10? I want every game to be good, right? Like, I want every game to be reviewed well and loved well, because it means when I'm done with one game in my backlog, I can add another one that's just as good. And then you got the people who haven't touched the game, but they say, hey, from the fucking trailers and the cryptic stuff I've seen out of Death Stranding, I want it to be a 10 out of 10. It's not going to be a 10 out of 10. You know, MGS5 was given a 10 out of 10, and I love that game. But it is not a 10 out of 10. Story-wise, that game sucked donkey balls. I'm sure Tommy Wiseau could frame a better fucking story than MGS5. But then the gameplay is where it shines. Had the review talked more in depth about it and not given it a blanket 10 out of 10, I would have approved reviews like that even more. The thing with these review scores is, again, they're also subjective too. Like, the people that are playing the games are different individuals. You know, if somebody who's a total fanboy has that bias to it, is giving Death Stranding a 10 out of 10, that's not a legit review. That means that person is, like, wiping the flaws of a game away, and it's just like their blind fanboyism is overtaking. Just like somebody who hates Death Stranding or hates games of that genre is reviewing a game as a biased, terrible review. Like, those reviews don't really matter to me because, like, the guy never gave it a chance. The guy or gal never gave a fuck. So when it comes to reviews, right, like, they have this subjective style to them where it's like, hey, there's people that are going to review the game and they're going to love it or hate it. Should that alone let you decide if you want the game or if you don't? I think the best logic to apply in this situation is just grade it like this. If after watching this video or any review, if you're still the kind of person who's going to be on Google typing in Death Stranding theory, or going to the Reddits, going to the Discord, having a good time, joining the hype train, then buy the game, okay? Don't let a fucking review score control your purchase. If you're still interested on the game, get it. Because scientifically, it probably cannot be worse than fucking Left Alive. That game was a pile of ass, by the way. I mean, if you ever want a terrible review of that, I can get really drunk and try to play through the game, but no promises. Ladies and gentlemen, this IGN review that I watched, I may be on the wrong side of the fucking fanboy war, but I'm going to be real with you. I'm still getting Death Stranding. I'm still hyped for Death Stranding. You know, when you put 4 years of, like, waiting on a game, watching theories, finding YouTubers, making friends. I've made friends through the wait for Death Stranding, for fuck's sake. Then I'm going to tell you, no matter how good or bad the game is going to be, I'm still going to play it next week on stream. I'm still going to have a fun time. And you know what? I'm totally prepared for the idea of not liking the game at all. Right? That could happen. But I'm still going to finish the journey. I'm still going to go through with it. And if you're still that kind of person that's super hyped in it, don't get controlled by the review score. Stop giving a shit. And if you're going to be seethingly pissed about a negative review for the game that you've been waiting 4 years for, you haven't played it either. So I'm going to just sit there, relax, and say, hey, just calm down. All right? It's a fucking review score. If you still want the game, just fucking buy the game. All right? Just go through with it. If you get burned, you get burned. If you don't, you don't. Just go with it, all right? That's all it is. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a divisive game, and I'm glad there are more divisive games out there. I'm sick and tired of playing the same spiel over and over again with a different skin over it. If a game truly is giving something different, but it's flawed, I can accept that, because it means when Death Stranding 2 comes out, because you know it is, it'll at least make the game a better play. That being said, though, if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Just like it. If you dislike it, I am